I'm going to tell you the story behind this photo of me and Governor Gavin Newsom. So I'm a climate lobbyist in California, and until this year, California had for the last 3 years passed almost no major climate legislation in the state. In fact, the last climate bill that was signed into law was SB 100 in 2018, which requires the state to get to 100% clean energy by 2045. Since then, almost every major climate bill wasn't even getting through the state legislature because of big oil opposition. And this was even when the state assembly and state senate had supermajorities of Democrats. But this year was totally different. We just had one of the most major years on climate legislation in the state of California. There were a lot of really significant wins, and I'll name a few. Okay, first on the list is SB 1137. This is a really important bill that requires health and safety buffer zones between active oil drilling and people's homes, schools, daycares, and other sensitive places where we shouldn't be drilling for oil. This applies to all new wells that will not be approved within 3,200 feet of those areas. And it also applies to what's called rework permits, which means that every active oil drilling site next to someone's home, school, daycare within 3,200 feet now has an expiration date on it. So another really big win to talk about is all the progress made on Senate Bill 260, the Climate Corporate Accountability Act. This is a bill that California environmental voters co-sponsored with Sunrise Bay Area and Carbon Accountable. And this would have required all large corporations that make over $1 billion a year to report to the public their full greenhouse gas footprint. And even though the bill didn't pass, it was a major win for the reason that at one point we were just one vote shy of passing this bill out of the state assembly, just one vote. So most major climate bills take years to pass, multiple introductions, and this was the first time. So we got that far, even though we were taking on the biggest, most profitable corporations. So that's progress. Some other important climate bills that got signed into law this year are bills like AB 1279, which codifies the state's target to achieve carbon neutrality as soon as possible, but no later than 2045. AB 1757, which requires the state to create targets for nature-based carbon sequestration solutions, and SB 1020, which requires the state agencies to achieve 100% clean energy much sooner than 2045, and also creates interim targets to make sure that we get to 100% clean energy by 2045. On top of all those bills being signed, the state also approved a massive climate budget of $54 billion over the next several years towards climate solutions. So not only have we passed the policies into law, but we've also passed the investments to make sure that we implement them. And there's more. The federal government also just passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which is going to bring even more dollars for climate solutions to the state of California. So if there was ever a time to go big on climate, it was this year, it was right now, and state policymakers just delivered big time. So overall, it was an incredible year for climate action in California, and the work is not over. And we need your help keeping the pressure up and the momentum going. So keep following us, register to vote, vote in November, and look out for action alerts from Envirovoters whenever an important climate bill is about to be voted on.